So when it came to me going to Project this last year, I didn't necessarily hear the audible voice of God say, Garrett, I want you in Africa. But instead, I did receive God's calling through Scripture. I sat there one day while I was reading and I saw that Jesus said, I want you to go into all nations preaching the good news. And I also saw in 2 Timothy 2:2 that we are called to teach others the things that we've been taught. And that was enough calling for me to give it all to God and to know that I was going to go to Africa. So I knew that going to Africa for the summer meant that I had to quit my job. And I knew that it was going to be giving up a big part of it because I knew that I had to pay for my school when I came back. And through all that, I was like, all right, God, if that's what it takes, I'll quit. And God actually provided a job once I got back. God opened up doors for me to still have a job. So while I was in Africa, I met this man named Armando. Armando was a 22-year-old Mozambican who was blind. And so talking to Armando, I come to notice his shoes look way too small. He had these white kind of high-top Adidas shoes. And I remember I noticed that the laces were out of his shoes. I noticed that the tongues were flipped out. I take my shoes off and I offered him mine. I had him try mine on and all that. Well, I wear a size 13. He probably wore something around 11 and a half if it was my guess. And I looked down at his shoes and I looked at the tag on the inside and the tag read 8 and a half. And so I sat there and I'm like, Armando, please take my shoes. Please take them. You need them more than I do. I have tons back home in America. And I sat there and just begged him. And Armando said, no, I can't take them. He said, if you see somebody while you're in Africa, give them your pair. At least I have a pair of shoes. As I got home that night, I remember sitting there thinking, God, there's got to be more than just I'm blessed with a ton of shoes. And that was when God spoke to me, at least you have me, Garrett. When there's others in this earth who don't, why are you not that willing just to give me to everybody? I sat there and was like, man, God, you're so right. Why do I not have this intentions about giving something more life-giving that means more spiritually than giving a pair of shoes? I remember getting back from Project and thinking, holy cow, this mountain that seemed too big, it was very possible, but with God. Another thing I learned while I was on Project is how great God's love is for all nations.